Arizona, first of its kind. That's right. Marijuana dispensary workers go on strike. Oh, the union busters are coming in hard. In the first ever labor action of its kind in Arizona, cannabis workers at a marijuana dispensary in Phoenix went on strike. In a quote, they said, "Your direct action here today speaks volumes, and when you take brave, courageous actions like this to walk off the job, you not only are fighting for yourselves and your coworkers, but for every worker who is taken advantage of by their employer and by corporations," said State Representative Annalise Ortiz, the Democratic Party state lawmaker, represents the 24th legislative district, which covers a portion of Maryvale. Workers at Curaleaf Midtown, along with elected leaders and community members, protested during the afternoon of September 15th near Central Avenue and Thomas Road. In a quote, "People over profit, justice over greed, cannabis for all, not just corporate need." Well, that's kind of catchy. Said Mario Gonzalez, excuse me. "Here's what you need to know about the labor action. The workers at the dispensary voted in favor of unionizing back in June 30th of 2022, but according to a statement released by officials with the UFCW Local 99, the workers still do not have a union contract. The group is demanding, among other things, better pay, benefits, working conditions, and safety. They also called on Curaleaf Midtown to reinstate a recently fired worker and start advancing union contract negotiations. The fired worker, according to the UFCW Local 99 statement, was allegedly fired for her union activity, citing a complaint issued by the National Labor Relations Board, the NLRB. The strike petition was reportedly hand-delivered by workers to their bosses, and in a quote, they say, "We're demanding that We're demanding that Curaleaf come to the table and negotiate with us like they were supposed to do when the NLRB ordered them to recognize us," said Nicholas Fredrickson, who works as a bud tender at Curaleaf Midtown. He says, "We've been fighting for almost 2 years now, and we aren't anywhere close to a contract," he says. According to reports, there were some heated moments during September 15th protest. A person who was reportedly a labor organizer was walked out of the premises by police, and staff inside the dispensary tried to cover up the striker signs. In a statement, Curaleaf says, hope you guys are ready for this, "As a company, Curaleaf respects the rights of team members who have chosen to be represented by a union." During September 15th where protest, team members have chosen such representation, the company will pursue an honest, business-like approach in working with those representatives. While we believe that a direct relationship with our team members is the best route for us to work together, we respect the voices of our team members and will negotiate with union leaders in good faith. We know our team members. We know the voices of our members, and we'll negotiate in good faith. Why do you keep doing that? And positive work environment. And we are committed to a collaborative culture that allows our team to feel heard, supported, and respected, Curaleaf says. Well, these are fancy words coming from a big corporation. I'm not sure if I'm buying any of it. And I'm almost with these strikers just because they're Curaleaf strikers, but I'm not. I'm still undecided about all this. I want to hear what you guys have to say. This is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News. What do y'all think about these Arizona strikers?
I mean, this is what unions do, right? Yeah. This is they're putting their foot down. Mm-hmm. They've made some asks, and this is where they're really trying to activate at this point. Interesting to see what the outcome is, if it's fruitful or not.
I just imagine, like, if some of the workers were there and then they wanted to get some weed, and then they would have to cross the picket line to go get some weed.
Or they're having their illicit market dealer pull up curbside to the picket line.
Yeah. Gretchen, you with us, Gretchen?
I'm here. Oh, so, Jason Beck, we know you're a union hater.
I am.
Explain to me what these people are fighting for that you disagree with.
I didn't say that I was disagreeing with what they were fighting for. I never made that claim.
You disagree with them fighting for it as a union?
No, I'm just not a fan of unions in general. I think unions.
Why?
Why? Because I think that
lack of historical knowledge.
No. Sure. That's cute, Matthew St. Germain. I just feel that unions give a lack of representation to workers while they're fleecing already low wages. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't think the cannabis industry is even close to being ready for unionization.
I think that's for you, Jason. The necessary next step for this industry to continue on if you want them to have any type of power against pharma and all these jagoffs who are going to move in.
Unions are not going to protect you from big pharma. That is a joke.
From all of that.
That is a joke.
No, bargaining is how employees.
I don't think any of you guys have ever benefited from a union, and that's why you're opposed to them.
I agree with you, Gretchen. The reason for the 40 hour, that's what I was going to ask Jason. Why do we have a 40-hour work week instead of an 80-hour work week? It's unions. Why do we have paid leave?
I'm all for having an 80-hour work week. I'm in total support of that.
Understood. But the thing is, we're getting to the point in the United States where everything is about to snap and the rich are about to get everybody.
Well, that has more to do with AI and the lack of jobs that are actually going to come online or going to be available.
What that has to do is with stuff like in California right now, they're about to pass a minimum wage law where fast food workers and service industry workers get $20+ an hour for minimum wage, which means working at McDonald's, you'll be better paid than you would as a cultivator, tech level 1, or a trimmer in the California cannabis industry. Oh. I would like someone to explain to me how somebody in California can survive on $17 an hour unless they're under 18, have to be over 21 to work in the cannabis space. Just talk about like your friend Don the Con making it so that it used to be when you paid California taxes, whatever you paid on California taxes, you got to deduct from what you owed on federal taxes. It's no longer possible because Donald Trump eliminated that as an attack on California and other states that didn't vote for him. I just wanted you to explain to me how somebody making $17 an hour that then gets money taken out for payroll and Social Security, California taxes, and federal taxes can afford to live in California where the average cost for a studio apartment is $1,200 to $1,600 a month. A gallon of milk
hold on, Matthew, because I actually agree with you on these things, and I do agree with you on that. But I think that attacking the jobs that are paying people wages is not the way to go. What we need to be attacking is the overall BlackRock type of scenario, which is causing for all of this rent prices to skyrocket at astronomical rates here in California. Like that's the bigger problem.
Is actually capitalism.
That's the bigger problem.
The problem is capitalism.
The problem's not capitalism. The problem is crazy ass rent. Okay, that is the problem.
Oh,
that is the problem.
That's not the problem. The problem is that the folks at the top of Walmart, of PG&E, of all of these companies are making tens to hundreds of millions of dollars both in salary and compensation and bonuses. Everybody else is making below minimum wage that they can't fucking survive, bro. It's really what the problem is. And so if we look at the free market economy is designed for the exchange of goods and services among individuals at fair rates between individuals. Capitalism is literally about using the labor of other people and not paying them for the value of their labor in order to accrue.
I don't buy into that.
Please
logic.
Let me finish. Please let me finish. In order to accrue more real property is real estate, land, as it has always been, owned by the aristocracy, and factory machinery, which is also viewed as real property. Capitalism is all about aggregating real property in as few hands as possible. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. You don't have to believe me. You can literally go to the internet and Google free market versus capitalism, and you can see the difference between these two structures. I think that we should all be incentivized to share our art, our creativity, our labor, any goods and services that we can produce. I think we are all entitled to compensation, and I think that compensation is what drives initiative, and it drives people to work and motivates people to work. So I believe in that. At the same time, I think there's a completely different way to do this that doesn't result in a few families and 100,000 people out of 300 million having all of the resources, all of the wealth, all of the houses, and everybody else just basically being either on fentanyl in the streets and or at each other's throats to just survive. I could be wrong, man. Like, I do a lot of drugs.
Well, and at the same time, if people don't want to work for minimum wage, they don't have to have jobs. They can just live off welfare if they want.
I mean, but can they?
Yeah, they can. They can, because there's tons of people that do.
Oh,
there's tons of people that do.
Go on for all eternity, though. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Most of the people that are on long-term welfare are single women with children, and because they have children, they get leveraged into a place where they can't afford childcare, and so oftentimes to take welfare in order to feed and clothe their children. And then, we can get into like single motherhood, the reasons for single motherhood, the destruction of the American family, the attacking of the black male, the imprisonment of the black male to disrupt families because of the rise of the Black Panthers and civil rights and socially conscious people of color in the 60s and 70s. Like, this is a big knot to unravel, but it really comes down to the fact of like, who are we as a country? Who do we wish to be? And I posit again that like, man, we're a family and I want to share with my family. I want to work hard for my family and I want to include everyone in the family at the table. Mm-hmm. Again, I do a lot of LSD, so I could be totally confused.
You are a little confused. It's okay though. We all still love you, Matthew St. Germain. But I do agree. Brother. I do agree with what Nick Bradley is saying in the chat, where he's saying that the problem with California rental and housing market is that we allow for international investors to buy property here and sit on them as a for-profit. And I do think that is 100% a big problem. We should not be allowing any. You should be a U.S. citizen if you want to be able to purchase a U.S. home. That's just, you know what I mean. That's just what it is.
Housing should not really be an income source. I don't understand how housing has. I mean, I understand how it's happened, but I just think it's one of the cruelest things in the world. Housing to become an income source. And I think, again, if we just look around, look in your local community, you guys, that plan isn't working in Santa Rosa. That plan isn't working in San Francisco.
It's definitely not working in California, the whole state.
Plan isn't working anywhere, bro. Like I was watching a cat, Luke Beasley, going to Trump rallies in Florida, and people in Florida are saying the same thing. Rents are quadrupling in Florida because so many people moving from high rents in California.
Well, it's such a great place to live.
Same thing is happening in Florida and Texas that was happening in California in the last 10 years. Rents are quadrupling, growing exponentially, and people are becoming homeless en masse. Mm-hmm. It's like, how long are we going to play this game before we all start admitting it does not work?
Oh,
that's just what I'm wondering.
The game's going to keep on getting played, bro. That's for sure.
And back to unions, man. 8-hour work week, paid vacation, no child labor. There's an abundance of reasons that unions are good.
That's another reason I'm against the unions. I'm all for child labor too. I think kids should be at working.
Shocker.
I'm just saying. I think kids should work. It teaches them good behavior at an early age. I'm all for it.
I think that children should work in limited capacity if they have the free time and can maintain their studies.
Yeah. I'm down with that. I still want them to go into school full time, everything else like that. But I think that they should be able to work and earn money.
Absolutely. I feel like if kids are mature enough and they want to spend a few hours a week making some money, they should be able to. I mean, not forced, right? But like my daughter, she's going to be 13 this week and she wants to be able to have a little part-time job. And she's like trying to be creative and think of different ways that she could make money for herself. And ultimately, she wants to be able to just go to work and make a few
I could think of a couple ways she can make some money, Mandy.
Yeah.
I could think of a couple ways. Mm-hmm.
You know what I did is I bought one of the first things I did is I bought number stencils. Went to everybody's house in every neighborhood that had a curb, and I offered to spray paint. This was a million years ago. Mm-hmm. But I offered to spray paint their house numbers on their curb so the mailman and the firefighters could find them. $5 a number. I mean, $5 a house, right? Just buy some stencils. You go start knocking on doors, and you start unlocking unlimited opportunities.
Look at that, bro. Look at that, Matthew.
I volunteered until I was able to make a paycheck.
You volunteered until you were able to get a paycheck, Gretchen? How long did that take?
Yeah, I volunteered for 2 years when I started when I was 14 at McGee Women Hospital, cleaning bathrooms.
Were you a candy striper?
I was, and then I was like, this is bullshit. I hate being nice to people. Can I just go clean the toilets? And they're like, all right, we've never had a candy striper do that, but knock yourself out. And I was like, yes.
So a candy striper joined the janitorial team at the hospital.
I did. They were so sweet. They're like, we've never had one of you on our team.
Oh,
I was
man.
like, here I am.
Where can we clone you at?
I'd much rather clean toilets than smile sweetly at ugly babies.
Oh, man. What are you going to do when you run for Congress then, Gretchen?
People are going to appreciate that. They're going to love that slogan.
They're going to love that slogan?
I'd much rather clean toilets than kiss your ugly baby.
Oh, man, that's going to be good. That's going to be good.
People want some honesty.
They do. People do want honesty.
She's going to make onesies that's going to say, Gretchen Gailey for office, but I won't hold your baby.
Yeah. No photos, please. Oh, man.
Don't let me touch your baby.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got it.
Baby, unless it's in a union, don't bring me your baby.
That's right. No union babies.
Union baby.
No. Only if your baby is a union buster. Yes. Yep. Or if your baby has a bunch of scabs on it, then you know what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Yes. We got to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.